Hello YouTube, this is Paul here. Today I'll be showing you all about VMware Fusion 3. Now what VMware Fusion 3 is basically a virtual machine that allows you to run Windows on a Mac based computer. Okay, so just to get us started, I'll show you what I'm currently running. Okay, so as you can see, I'm currently running Snow Leopard. I've got a 2.66 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo processor, currently running with 2 GB of RAM. Now you can probably, I'm sure you can do this on 1 GB of RAM, but as you're running two different operating systems at the same time, I'd say the best at least 2 really. I mean, I want to upgrade to 4, but again it runs more than fine just on 2. Okay, so we'll click on the VMware Fusion application dock on the dock down here. Let's get that started. Okay, so when you normally boot up VMware Fusion for the first time, it brings up the virtual machine library. Okay, so this allows you to see which operating systems you've got currently installed. As you can see, I've got Windows XP Professional installed, or it gives you the option to install other operating systems, such as if you wanted, I don't know, maybe Windows Vista or Windows 7 or maybe even Linux. Linux does run on here, so you've got the option between both. Again, if you're currently running a boot camp partition, you can actually take that partition and install it on the virtual machine itself. Now, I mean, VMware Fusion is good, but if you want to run games, you're pretty much better off running boot camp. I mean, prior to this, I was running boot camp with Windows 7, and it actually, by running the partition on the boot camp, it corrupted my OS X partition, which in theory rendered the whole hard drive useless, so I had to have that replaced. So I was a bit nervous obviously using boot camp again, so hence why I'm using VMware Fusion. So let's get started. Okay, so basically it's just like playing a video clip when you open up the main window. You're just pressing the play button and it automatically starts Windows XP. Okay, so you can either choose to run VMware Fusion on a single window, so you can run other applications on OS X side by side, or you can choose to run it full screen. I mean, I prefer to kind of keep the window as a single window, again depending on what applications I'm currently running at the moment. I'll just try to get the password right. Alright, here we go. You see that the resolution looks a bit poor, but once you're booted in, it automatically adjusts it. There we go. So there is the desktop of Windows XP. Again, everything is exactly the same. So it's just like you're running, you're using a Windows computer. Okay, so if we were to go into my computer, go into Properties, Hardware and Device Manager, we can see all of the hardware we're currently running under the Device Manager. Again, the disk drives, because I'm currently using a SCSI drive, it actually comes up as a virtual drive on the VMware. Okay, so just to get, I'll show you a couple of applications. I mean, first off, because I'm running Windows, I'm currently using antivirus. Again, the chances of a virus coming in and on the Windows virtual machine and affecting OS X is practically very slim. But what I've got here at the moment, on here, I've got a VMware shared folder. Now, with this shared folder, it's an option you can either choose to have or you don't want to have. It's up to you. I mean, I think it's good because if I was to click into the actual shared folder, it's got listed all the folders that I've got under Documents on OS X. So any files that I have on OS X that I put into these folders, I can access it on Windows without putting it on maybe on an external hard drive and then taking it back off again. So it's very good for ease of use. Okay, so if we just make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so again, because I've got these shared folders, hence why I'm running a virtual machine, and because I've got different applications on there, I thought it would be best to run it because I didn't want to lose anything that I've got stored on there. Again, it would be too big a deal because if it gets corrupted, if it gets absolutely riddled with viruses, you can pretty much just reinstall. Okay, so again, another way of, like I was saying earlier, is transferring files. say if I've got a Word document, maybe a PDF that I want to view, or a Word document that I want to view on the Windows, I can literally take the file and drop it, and it appears on the desktop. Okay, so I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, it's one of the main advantages over Boot Camp. It's just the ability to have two running side by side in a virtual machine. It makes life a lot easier, because on Boot Camp to keep restarting, and it takes a while to switch between the two. So this is the best way to do it for ease of use, for for quicker performance. If you're running games, I would suggest to probably keep to Boot Camp, because VMware does not run games that well. Just standard applications it does perfectly, but for games I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so currently I've got Microsoft Office Word installed, so I'll just bring that up, and there you go. It just brings up like it would normally do, again on Windows, and you can use it as normal. Okay, I mean, there are applications such as OpenOffice I can use on OS X, but most of the time I use Microsoft Word. It's what I'm used to, and I'd rather use it in a Windows virtual machine than on OS X. So if I was to go onto Internet Explorer, all the network drivers have been are automatically installed, so you don't have to go hunting around for drivers. The virtual machine does that all on its own, so it helps a lot. Okay, so let's just close this. So if I was to bring up say for example I went to YouTube, I can play again any clip. If I really wanted to, I could bring up Safari. I can move that down there. And I can play both files see, so I've got the one on the left is Windows running, and the one on the right is OS X. Again, you probably can't really see much difference. I mean, there is a little bit difference in quality. Again, the OS X does seem to be a bit stronger. Hence, I don't know why I've chosen this video clip, but there you go. So again, yeah, it doesn't seem that affects performance so much from running a virtual machine. So again, I can just close that down. I mean, one thing I've got on here, I mean, I'm currently running daemon tools, because a lot of the time I don't like using disks. So I've got the option to, again, I can open up an image if I so wanted to, and without obviously having a disk, to mount that file and access it. So it's what it's, I'm a big fan of daemon tools. I use it pretty much for all my CDs. I hate CDs, and even though I can mount them on OS X, I prefer to do it all via daemon tools. So it's one of the other, there's certain applications that I do actually prefer on Windows than I do OS X, and vice versa. There's stuff I prefer on OS X than I do on Windows. Okay, so I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, you've got all the different applications that you normally have. I can, you've got the good old Minesweeper. So it's one I used to play at school a lot, and it's still as rubbish as I remember. But there you go. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, I will be making some more videos soon, just going through it in a bit more detail. Hopefully, I'll be running Mandriver Linux operating system next, just to see how we get on with multiple virtual machine operating systems running on it. But again, yeah, I mean I've used Boot Camp, and I do prefer VMware. I think it's much quicker to use, easier, and again, I had a bad experience with Boot Camp where it kind of corrupted my hard drive. So that's probably 1 in a million, but again, it's kind of put me off using it, so hence why I went to VMware. Okay, so I hope you found my video informative, and I posted a link on the side which gives you a 30-day trial of VMware, just so you could try it out, see what you think. Again, you still need your own your own disk or ISO files to be able to install the operating system. But give it a go and see what you think. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you then.